The mood was festive as a big Air Force cargo jet arrived at North Island carrying 16 passengers and 100 penguins, all the way from McMurdo Sound in Antarctica. The passengers were happy to get off, not only because friends were there to greet them, but mostly because the jet's cabin had to be kept at a constant 16 degrees below zero on the flight to accommodate the penguins. That's like flying from here to Tokyo and back in a refrigerator. The passengers suffered through it, while the penguins liked it just fine.
They took it very well indeed, probably better than the people that were in the plane with them.
At North Island, the 20 emperor penguins, 80 Adélie penguins, and 12 seagull-like skuas switched from the plane to refrigerated trucks, which carried them to their new home at SeaWorld. SeaWorld wants them for a research project it's conducting for the National Science Foundation. As common as penguins are on labels and in the public mind's eye, scientists have had a very tough time studying them in the wild. So they hope this group, along with 100 others imported last year, will help them learn a thing or two about penguins. Like, how do they go without food for 3 months of the year without starving? Researchers think if they can find the answer to that question, they'll be able to help people who have trouble dieting. For now, at least, only researchers and special educational groups will get a chance to view these penguins. SeaWorld officials say in a year or two, once the research is completed, they should be able to build a bigger facility to handle the general public. This is Gene Gleeson reporting for TV8 News at SeaWorld.
These chirping little creatures are Adélie penguins. The species is usually found in the frigid climate of Antarctica. But these penguins are different. They were artificially hatched in a SeaWorld incubator. It looks and sounds simple enough, but these furry bundles of joy require around-the-clock attention. Just ask any one of the substitute parents who has to feed the penguins 3 times a day. The aroma of herring fillet, shrimp, and fish liver leaves a little to be desired, but the baby penguins don't seem to mind. What they might mind is the switch from this warm climate to the chilly setting of the penguin tank. This is home sweet home for the older Adélie penguins, mingling in the cool, comfortable 20-degree weather. Scott Dreischman of SeaWorld describes the penguin project.
Basically, we have 2 groups of birds. One group, the hand-reared birds that we're rearing by hand ourselves, plus the naturally raised ones that we're having the parents do in here. With these 2 groups, hopefully, we can watch growth rates of the 2 and get some idea on how to transport eggs to bring back, which is much easier than bringing back adults.
SeaWorld officials say that these little birds will be introduced to the freezing unit next month, and that's when the real test will begin. At SeaWorld, Janine Tartaglia reporting for TV8 News. Go to it, George. Here we go. Try it again.
Since it was hatched last May in Seattle, Rotundo, as this Humboldt penguin is named, has been fed and cared for by human hands. Some say that's made it more people than penguin. So it seemed only natural to ship Rotundo to SeaWorld, where the fully fledged Humboldt can learn to assume its rightful place in the penguin pecking order. The SeaWorld colony of 34 birds is an ideal school. Penny and Rupert make ideal classmates. Chicks like Claudel remind Rotundo of earlier cuddly, carefree days, but the lessons at hand require skill and daring. First comes learning how to get along, and then survival.
She was not raised in a water-type environment, so she's a little afraid of water still. So we have to teach her how to swim and get used to that water.
And eventually she won't like people at all.
Hopefully not. That's the ultimate goal, is have her integrate totally to the point where she'll breed with other penguins.
How do you know if Rotundo is passing his schoolwork? Well, that behavior is an indication that he's not as accustomed to people as he once was. And that means he's ready to return to the colony and be on his own. Jim Gordon, News 8, SeaWorld.